continuous or past simple. 1. Introduction. This lesson will help you to understand the difference between past continuous and past simple. Both the past simple and the past continuous refer to completed actions in the past. Two. Past continuous or past simple. A reporter is interviewing Mike and Harriet. Reporter: Mike and Harriet, tell me what you saw. Harriet: well, when we were driving home last night, we saw a strange object in the sky. Mike: as we were coming down the hill into town, it just suddenly appeared in front of us. We stopped the car and got out. Harriet: it was a very clear night. The stars were twinkling. Mike: it was a spaceship. It seemed quite big. It had some strange writing on the side, and a light was flashing on the top. Harriet: as we were watching it suddenly flew away and disappeared. Now let's see the difference between past continuous and past simple. Past continuous. We use the past continuous for an action that we were in the middle of. We were driving home. We were in the middle of our journey. A light was flashing. We saw it flashing. We use the past continuous for an action happening at a specific time. Mike was driving home at 8 p.m. last night. I was sleeping when I heard a strange noise. We do not normally use the past continuous for state verbs. The spaceship was seeming quite big. Wrong. It was having some writing on the side. Wrong. I wasn't knowing what it was. Wrong. Past simple. We use the past simple for a complete action in the past. We drove home. We already finished our journey. The spaceship flew away. The spaceship was not here anymore. We use the past simple for an action happened in the past. The specific time is not important. Mike drove home yesterday. He got home at 9 p.m. I slept alone in my big house. I suddenly heard a strange noise. We also use the past simple for state verbs. The spaceship seemed quite big. Right? It had some writing on the side. Right? I didn't know what it was. Right. Three. It happened as I was driving. We often use the past continuous and past simple together when a shorter action comes in the middle of another, longer one. As we were driving down the hill, a strange object appeared in the sky. While Laura was sitting in the garden, it suddenly began to rain. You drove right past me when I was waiting for the bus. The appearance of the strange object comes in the middle of the longer action, the drive down the hill. Longer action, WEREDRIVINGDOWNTHEHEHILL. Shorter action, an object appeared, in the three sentences above. The past continuous comes after as, while, and when. As we were driving. We can also use when before the past simple. We were driving down the hill when a strange object appeared in the sky. David was making lunch when the phone rang. But we also used two past simple verbs for one action after another. When we saw the spaceship, we stopped the car. We saw it and then we stopped. We also used two past continuous verbs for two actions happening at the same long time in the past. While I was cooking, my husband was watching TV. Harriet was driving home yesterday, while a spaceship was flying along his car.
Making questions in English. Making questions is the most important thing in English speaking. As you know, most of the conversations start with a question. Here are some tips to learn the art of question making. Basic rule of making questions. The basic rule for asking questions in English is to invert the order of the subject and the first auxiliary verb. Subject plus auxiliary plus verb equals auxiliary plus subject plus verb. He is reading book equals is he reading book. It is snowing equals is it snowing. He can speak German equals can he speak German. They have lived here a long time equals have they lived here a long time. She will arrive at 10 o'clock equals will she arrive at 10 o'clock. He was driving fast equals was he driving fast. You have been smoking equals have you been smoking. No auxiliary verb. If there is no auxiliary, use part of the verb to do. In this case, to do acts as an auxiliary verb. Remember to use the correct tense and form of to do, does, did. Subject plus verb equals do slash does slash did plus subject plus verb. You speak fluent French equals do you speak fluent French. She lives in Brussels equals does she live in Brussels. They lived in Manchester equals did they live in Manchester. He had an accident equals did he have an accident. WH questions. When you make questions with WH questions, we will keep the same rule but we add WH question to the beginning of the questions. When were you in Paris? Why don't you come? Where do you work? How many did you buy? What time did you go? Which one do you like? Whose car were you driving? Who are you talking with? Note who, what and which can be the subject. Let's compare the difference. Who is coming to lunch? Who is the subject of the verb? Who do they want to invite to lunch? They is the subject of the verb. What happened? What is the subject of the verb? What did you do? You is the subject of the verb. Which is wrong? Which is the subject of the verb? Which car does he drive? He is the subject of the verb. Note the position of the prepositions in these questions. Who did you speak to? What are you looking at? Where does he come from? WH questions are what, where, when, which, who, whose, why, how.